O'clock, May the 5th. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk, where we get together, chat about what's going on in the world of weather 7 days a week in the mornings, 8 o'clock-ish on the dot. I hope you're having a great start to the day. Yesterday, can we just talk about heat? Yesterday was gross. It was hot. It was hazy. It was humid. It was a summer's preview. And guess what? We're sticking with that theme. The top two things we're watching: record heat possible across Central Florida, but I'm happy to say there is somewhat of a cool down. Don't get too excited, but there is a cool down nonetheless, kind of on the horizon. So we'll chat about it. You can see, though, on the bottom of the screen, we're cycling through current temperatures and forecast high temperatures, and those forecast highs are RUF rough. Yeah. All right, let's take a look outside. Shall we see what's doing? There's a shot from the downtown Orlando scenery. It's looking very, very nice. Just a couple of clouds over top of us. Current temperatures across Central Florida, nice and warm for sure, as you can see on the bottom of the screen. We're currently sitting at 73 degrees in Orlando. We are sitting at a... Hold on one second. I hit the wrong button. Sugar. I hate when I do that. I messed up our ticker. Oh man, I messed it all up. How did I do that? How did I do that? Hold on. I can't believe I just did that. Sugar. All right, we're going to have to do without the ticker today because literally I messed it up for you. All right. See, this is why we can't have nice things. All right, my apologies. I'm not going to sit here and bore you with it. But here's where we're at in terms of, I cannot believe I did that. In terms of temperatures, 73 in the city right now. It is 69 in the Villages, 70 degrees in Palm Coast, 73 for us in Titusville, 72 in Melbourne. So it is indeed a warm start. But look where we are headed through the afternoon. Look at these temperatures. 84 by 11 o'clock. It's 90 by 1 o'clock. 95 degrees. 95 degrees by 3 o'clock. Today we are expecting it to be the hottest temperatures of the season, hottest temperatures of the year. Yesterday was the hottest of the year. We hit 94 in Orlando yesterday. 95 today, so it's going to be even hotter across Central Florida today. Now, that, of course, is the temperature in Orlando. Where do we go kind of neighborhood by neighborhood? It does depend on where you live, so let's break it down county by county. Let's start along the East Coast. Temperatures there not going to be as hot, and at least there's that, right? At least if you live along the beaches, things are going to be a little bit better, okay? Sure. 88, 89, 90 degrees. That's not bad. The problem, if I may, is just the sheer fact that it's inland. Those inland spots, that's where we've got the serious heat. We're concerned because, of course, once you start getting to these levels of heat, then you have to start dealing with that's when you have to start dealing with heat stroke and things like that. Just sending that. Okay, if I do that. 61. Okay, all right. Got that back. My apologies. Hold on a second. See, I get focused on these things that drive me crazy. All right. Copy, paste. Hold on a sec. See, I'm fixing it. I told you I wasn't going to do it, and then I decided I'm doing it. There we go. There. That. Copy. Standby. And that. Standby. You hit one wrong. It just goes to show you, like, you hit one wrong button, you mess it all up. Okay. All right. Now we are good to go. Now we are back. Okay. All right. So, inland heat stroke. We're just not used to this kind of heat. So that's where obviously everybody needs to be very, very careful. Okay. Chris says a little OCD. You are not wrong. Absolutely, I am. I just worked so hard and I hit one wrong. I hit one wrong button. I hit the reset button. It's fine though. We're back. All right. So anyway, today, near record heat. Let's talk a little bit about those records neighborhood by neighborhood, okay? Because 95 is nothing to sneeze at. There are seasons that we've not gotten that hot ever, you know? So, yeah. Here's a look at the records versus the forecast. Orlando 95, record is 96. So we're absolutely going to be tracking that through the entirety of the day. Sanford, you'll be within a degree of a record as well. Leesburg, I think you're going to hit that record. Daytona Beach and Melbourne, I think you're going to fall just shy. But Orlando, Sanford, and Leesburg, those are going to be record numbers, I think, for you today, okay? So enjoy the comfortable weather that we have this morning because that is not going to be sticking around, right? It's just not. It's going to be hot. And that's just today. Let's look at tomorrow's numbers. Tomorrow also a record-setting forecast, or at least possible. Orlando's record goes up a degree, so I don't know that we're going to get to record heat tomorrow, but Sanford, you'll be within a couple of degrees. Leesburg, you'll be, I think, breaking a record. And even Daytona Beach and Melbourne, you're going to be within record territory. So remember, if working outside, take it slow, allow extra time, hydrate even when you're not thirsty, and remember the pets. You want to make sure to understand that their paws on concrete, on asphalt, on the sidewalks, they could burn them, you know? So we've got to remember our four-legged friends as well, please. Yesterday was hot too. I think it will be hot today. Well, that's correct. Jessica, tell me tomorrow isn't really going to be 97 or 98. I mean, I don't think we're forecasting 97 or 98. On the left column is the forecast. On the right column is the record, okay? So remember, records are records. But when we look at the like here's Friday's forecast, okay? Just for perspective. Here's kind of what we're looking at for high temperatures tomorrow, okay? 94 in Leesburg, about 95 or so in Orlando. Even along the beaches, it's going to be hot. 91 Daytona Beach, 90 degrees in Titusville, 90 degrees in Melbourne. So, you know, is it record heat tomorrow? I think today is probably the better of the days for records. But we just kind of have to see, of course, how that plays out. Now, one tool that we can use to really zero in on this is going to be our computer models. So what I want to do is I want to show you this is the raw GFS, and I just want to look at raw model output on high temperatures. And the first thing I'm noticing, first off, gross. First thing I'm noticing is that the model is going a bit hot. Notice 98 in Orlando. That's the GFS. 97 in Sanford, 97 in DeLand. That's raw model data. That does not mean it's happening. That's raw model data, okay? That's for today. For tomorrow, it's doing the same thing. 97, 97 for Sanford and Orlando, for downtown Orlando, 95 at the executive airport. So GFS model's a little hotter. If we were to look at the national blend of models, which I always say is kind of a really good way of peeking in on these things, the national blend of models is showing a little closer to what we are forecasting for high temperatures. If you notice, the national blend of models for downtown Orlando is showing 93 for Orlando International Airport, 95 for DeLand, 93 for Sanford, 93. If we look at tomorrow, 95, 95, 95. Yeah, so the GFS is airing a little hot, I think, whereas the actuality of things, I think, is a little lower, right? So today, 95, tomorrow, 95. Yesterday, we hit 94. Average high is 87, so we're certainly running above the average. Yeah, certainly running above the average, but thankfully, we are not to 98s. Could it happen? Sure. But that is not the expectation, and that's the good news. Tiffany, we could use a meteorologist like you here, Eric. I miss your expertise. You could teach some of these guys out here things. Well, thank you. Everybody has their weather, folks, and that's all fine. I'm certainly not here to dog anybody, and I don't want to do that. But look, everybody's always learning. Everybody's always learning, right? If you're not, then you're not living. Tina, I know not your coverage area, but Saturday I'm headed to Dallas with my son. Oh man, do they have humidity in Dallas like we do here? Is it a dry heat? I have no idea. I mean, I know they get it, but I don't know where they're at now. So I apologize. Working in my garden this morning. That sounds lovely. Jennifer, good morning to you. What do you see forming in the Caribbean? Steve's asking. All right, so we can take a tropics trek. Just a reminder, hurricane season not here yet. It is just, though, 28 days away. And of course, WESH 2 is your source for hurricane information around the clock and through the season. I could tell you, we will be posting Twitter updates as storm updates come in. We'll be posting Facebook updates as things come in. And if we have to, if there are serious threats to either us in Central Florida or elsewhere, I'm going to be doing some updates, some frequent updates here on the old Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. And leading up to storms, I'll be doing Facebook Lives and Twitter Lives and all that fun stuff, okay? Right now, the good news, while we're not in season, there is nothing that we are tracking immediately, okay? But that said, let's just take a moment and let's just take a look at what the long-range forecast shows. And of course, we've issued our long-range forecast, our 2022 hurricane season forecast. We issued that back March 1st, okay? And the only thing that has changed from March 1st to now, I'm going to be honest with you, is the way that I present this graphic. I changed it around to try and make it a little easier to follow. So here we are. It is Thursday, May 5th. So I posted and published that the 6th, 7th, and 8th, that time frame, Rocky, it's okay, Bubba, that we would be watching the northeastern United States, okay? So if we were to look at some computer model data, this is the raw GFS. All right, let me just scoot this over. Actually, it's fine there. All right, so raw GFS, and you see that storm system kind of firing up across the plains and working off the shoreline. That right on time for where we had expected. That's Sunday, May 8th, storm system off the coast of the northeastern United States. That is lining up perfectly with our May long-range forecast. That doesn't bother us at all, right? That's not a tropical threat for us, at least in the short term. Now, by the 16th and the 17th, the long-range forecast, the LRC, the LESAC recurring cycle, that does have an indicator for Florida. So let's just watch. What's interesting is that the models are trying to take this little area of low pressure and kind of spin it down and then bring it in our vicinity around Friday, May 13th, okay? At that point in time, Saturday, Sunday, we're quiet. There's another storm system north of us with lowering pressure developing. There's the 16th and there's the 17th. That lowering pressure there, just off of the east coast of Florida, that is associated with the Floreaster, at least I think. I think that there's going to be, with that area of low pressure and a weak front, I think we're going to get an area of low pressure developing in the Gulf of Mexico and moving across Florida. Does it develop into anything? We'll have to wait and see. That lines up, though, with the long-range forecast of watching Florida, and that would be the November 6th part of the pattern, the November 6th repeat. All right, so I've tried to make these calendars a little more user-friendly, and I am curious as to if that is successful or not. But yeah, the November 6th repeat, okay? So that's what we're looking at there in terms of kind of things in the month of May. But to just kind of oversimplify it, mid-month, we're watching around Florida. This weekend, we're watching the Northeast. The models are showing that. That was the raw GFS. Let's do this. Let's take a look at the raw Euro model. Same idea. All right, this is going to be the 6Z run. If you've been around for Coffee Talk for hurricane season, we do a lot of model analysis here. And you have questions, I will answer them as best I can. Okay, so that's the way that we operate. My goal is to keep it as absolutely simplified as possible. But we do get into some sciencey stuff here, okay? All right, so European model showing that storm system. What's interesting is that the European model is throwing it kind of off the coast of like the Delmarva. So it's a little further south than the GFS. Now that's the end of the 6Z, so we're going to move over to the 0Z, which is the most recent full run after that. That goes out further. So there's that low pressure area kind of fading out over the Atlantic, eventually kind of moving back to us and giving us unsettled weather around the 12th of May. That could happen. That doesn't show up in our long-range forecast. But again, on the long-range forecast, you're picking up on the bigger cycles, the bigger signals, not the smaller ones. So this could happen. We could have, by late next week, an unsettled weather pattern. And then we kind of watch, that's the end, that's May 15th, kind of watch perhaps the beginnings of a storm system. We can expand on this by taking a look out to the European ensemble, which will give us a bit more long look. Okay, so there's the 15th, there's the 16th. It kind of has this front, but it has high pressure building in, which I don't know that will happen. Let's look at the GFS ensembles. That's the 11th. That's that low pressure kind of sneaking into our area. The 14th, 15th. It's got some lowerish pressure along a bit of a frontal boundary around the 16th. I think that it's sniffing it out. It's just, at the end of the day, the models are guidance, not gospel. And they've certainly not keyed into that part of the pattern yet. So because of that, I'm going to continue to show this and say, again, this weekend, we're watching the Northeastern United States. And then looking ahead to the 16th or the 17th, in that vicinity, we're going to be watching around Florida. Doesn't mean that we're going to be having a hurricane or a tropical storm or anything, but rather that there is an indicator of something. And we'll see how it plays out. This is also its weaker signal. So in the LRC idea, things repeat, okay? That's how we do our long-range forecasting. If you're new to this, let me just explain how this works, okay? You observe yearly patterns that set up. And the way that it happens is in October and November, they set up, and then they loop over and over. So you look for the bigger players. That becomes kind of the long-range forecasting. And then you watch how they repeat and repeat. But one thing that we've started to key into, and I'm curious when we have Gary Lezak on Coffee Talk what his thoughts are, but we've noticed that these things kind of recycle stronger and weaker and stronger and weaker. So looking at this month, we've got the watching Florida the 16th and 17th, right? We've got the yellow icon next to that because that's the November 6th repeat. If you look at the actual forecast for that feature, we obviously highlight Florida. Notice mid-May for a potential return date. Late July, I put a red tag there, okay? Because why? That's theoretically its stronger cycle. So if we look at the month of July, notice the 20th and the 21st, I've got watching Florida highlighted, right? And it's not the yellow icon, it's the red icon. Why? Same thing, because it's that November 6th recycle. By the way, all of this is free and online. The entire hurricane season forecast is published for your reading pleasure. All you have to do, we've got a fancy website now. You ready? wesh.com/hurricane forecast. That's it. wesh.com/hurricane forecast. That's where you can get our 2022 hurricane season forecast. wesh.com/hurricane forecast. Anytime you want to reference our long range forecast, wesh.com/hurricane forecast. All right. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. Steve's asking, can I talk tropics? Yes. Eric's asking, is the Florista recycle still possible? I haven't seen it on any models yet. The models are going back and forth on it, Eric. They're struggling with it as they always do. You've got to think. There's a lot of dynamics that come into every piece of any weather puzzle, right? So when it comes down to going out 380 hours, models are not going to do a great job. If we just look at, this is the GFS. This is the GFS here. And, you know, it's kind of got some moisture around the 16th to 17th. You know, it's got some moisture on the 16th and the 17th, and then having that lift up to the north. So, like, that's the floor-easter. You see that right there? That piece of energy off the coast of the Outer Banks there, lifting further to the north. Backtrack it, and it's kind of off to the south. But the GFS is trying to figure out, where does that area of low pressure emanate? You know, where does it get its energy? How does that work? So with the LRC, you kind of have an idea of where these patterns are going and where they're favoring. But the models, you just have to wait for them to sniff it all out. And there's obviously, from cycle to cycle, there's going to be different things. This is not going to be the strong floor-easter part of the cycle. It's just not. So we know that. We know that. That's why when you look at the forecast, the monthly forecast that we issued, it's got the yellow icon and not the red icon. But come July, when that recycles, that will be the long version, that will be the stronger version of the cycle. So that's the one we're going to absolutely have to watch. Okay? Let's see here. Great weather coverage. I get notification. That is perfect with hurricane season coming soon. Thank you. Yeah, it's I just can't believe we're already getting there. I really can't believe we're already getting there. See you, Elizabeth. Hope you have a good one. I just can't believe it. Yeah. Kristen's asking for June. So yeah, so June, when we look to our long range forecast, that feature early month around Texas and Louisiana shows up. It's not a big, monstrous feature, but it's definitely a feature. Mid-Atlantic around the 22nd, 23rd, and then for us, June, the 24th, 25th, and 26th, that is going to be another focal point. That's the October 11th storm system, okay? Yeah, the October 11th storm system. So those are your dates, right? We think it's probably going to be an East Coast deal, but come the month of June, yeah, we're watching that version of the recycle coming around for the October 11th repeat. And then for July, we're watching kind of mid to late. It's the 20th and the 21st. So that's kind of what we're watching there. Yeah. Crazy, right? Just don't call it crazy. We remain between two storm systems. Well, we just have to kind of watch and see how it all plays out, you know? I'd be good if the recycle prediction for the 16th, 17th goes by without much of a fuss. Well, and the thing is you're going to get information, right, from models, but it's not until these things actually cycle through that you really get an idea of what it's going to be. And then at the same time, know that, at least for the floor-easter, for May, this is the weaker cycle. But it's still something to watch. I still think that it's just going to give us another reminder that hurricane season is right around the corner. And we've been talking about this for months. It's going to give, I think, everybody else that doesn't follow long-range forecasting a reminder that hurricane season is right around the corner. Yeah. Chris, asking for Futurecast for today, please. Yeah, I guess we didn't even do that. We got right into the tropics, so we've been yentering it up the whole time. All right, so let's take a look at Futurecast. So first and foremost, today, the big story is going to be the heat, which means you're not going to be getting much activity showing up on Futurecast. Just take a look. 9, 10, 11, 12. Some clouds developing. There will be a few showers. Not a bunch, but a few showers. There's 7:30, right? Not a bunch, but a few showers. Heat, humidity, all that stuff. Yeah. It seems like there's a mid-month pattern. It's, it's just kind of watching how these all cycle through. It's fascinating. To me, the long-range forecasting is absolutely fascinating. Yeah. Mother's Day coming up, friends. All right. Temperatures not looking as hot this weekend. And I'd mentioned off the top that we're tracking this building heat bubble, and then it kind of pops a little bit. So what's going on? Well, let's just take a look at the overall weather perspective, okay? So here we are Futurecast showing kind of nice quiet conditions across the peninsula. There's a frontal boundary that's coming our direction Friday into Saturday. And you can kind of see that front, while probably not doing much to us, Saturday into Sunday, it is approaching the peninsula. And it is approaching the central part of the peninsula, okay? So what does that mean? We'll just take a look. The changes are from near record heat today and tomorrow. This weekend, kind of start to watch the rain chances go up and the temperatures go down. And then as that front around Mother's Day comes through, we'll actually watch our high temperatures come down. It's not going to be massive, but it's going to be something. And I think that that's important to note because it also indicates that we are not yet to the rainy season. Remember, the rainy season demands that cold fronts stop coming through. And that is a cold front that's coming through, okay? So we're not there yet. We're not to summer either. It sure feels like it yesterday and today. Look at some of these high temperatures from yesterday. I mean, it's wild. High temperatures around Central Florida, 94 in Orlando yesterday, 91 in Sanford, 90 degrees in Leesburg, 86 in Palm Bay. So it was hot. Today's going to be hotter. Yeah, yesterday the hottest of the year. Today's going to be hotter. All of this to say that summer technically is still 47 days away. Isn't that funny? Isn't it? Yeah. All right. Where should I go to lunch for Mexican food? Can I share? If anybody's in St. Cloud, Rancho Chico, oh, God bless that place. I fell in love with it when I lived in South Florida, and they've got locations in like Jupiter, Tequesta, and randomly in St. Cloud. People, that is the real deal. And he says summer's here. Technically, it's not, but like it pretty much is. It pretty much is, right? When you look at the temperatures, this, I think, says it all. Okay, this is an interesting graphic. There's a lot of nerddom here, but roll with me. So far, we've had 9 90-degree days through May the 4th, through yesterday afternoon. Average through May the 4th is 6 90-degree days. All right, so we're running above average, but you've got to keep in mind, was it the Dust Bowl? Is that what was happening back then? Back in 1929, through May the 4th, there were 31 90-degree days through May the 4th. So we're definitely running above average. By the way, last year, we were a day more. We had one additional day of 90-degree heat. So, for what it's worth, it's all in perspective. And remember, while we're in the heat now, we get back into the mid-80s by next week. So put it all together. And what do you get? You get summer, no matter how you slice it. All right, so for today, 95, certainly talking near record heat. Tomorrow, 95 again. The records are a little higher, so we may not be talking about the records. Then Saturday, rain chances go up. Showers, thunder showers, we'll be tracking them. Our radar's doing amazing work. And then Sunday for Mother's Day, rain chance goes down a little bit as a frontal boundary kind of slides through. And then we pop the heat bubble. We get back to averages for your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. High temperatures, mid to upper 80s, partly cloudy skies. Looks good. A little break from the summertime heat. That's also a big indicator, though, that we are not yet to the rainy season. All right? It's a cool front by definition only, so don't get too feisty. Barbara says, St. Cloud here. Excellent food at Rancho. Oh, my God, it is so good, isn't it? Oh, I've driven down there specifically, and it's out there. Like I live up near Orlando. You got to, it's a schlep, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Summertime and the living's easy. That's right. Old George Gershwin. I know there are other versions of the song. If you're wanting to head to the beach, by the way, the forecast, the temperatures look great. Know that we're still under a moderate risk of rip currents, and water temperatures are kind of trying to come up. May get an isolated shower or so, but the beach looks great. All right? All right. So, afternoon coffee talk. I know lots of you are working, and we try to be sure to update you on kind of the happenings, and you can always check in on it after the fact. What are we going to be discussing on the afternoon coffee talk? Obviously, the heat is going to be the big one. How hot will it be in your neighborhood? We will discuss that. How much hotter could you get tomorrow? We'll be discussing that. Of course, we'll be getting into the adjustments for your weekend forecast and looking ahead to next week's reprieve. Kind of a wonderful setup, right? All right, so join us for the afternoon coffee talk. We get going about 3:30, give or take, depending on the schedule. And yeah, make it a great, great, great Thursday. I will see you today at 3:30. And of course, we'll have our morning coffee talk at 8 tomorrow morning. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out. See you guys and gals later on.